Good afternoon, everyone. Hey guys, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading doing the nightly market update for Wednesday, May the 21st. Happy hump day, happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Today was a little not what I was expecting. As you can see, I've got the ES up here on the chart. I always like to start with the ES and look at the ES as the kind of the broad representation of the overall market. This red line is our voodoo fire line. I'll talk about that in a minute. But as you can see, let me get this down out of the way a little bit. I've got the NASDAQ and the Russell right here. But as you can see, the light gray is the overnight session. This was yesterday. This was overnight, and this was today. So overnight session, we're all over this voodoo fire line up here, and we're, it's holding, and then we kind of come through it, and we're doing the snake move, and then we come down overnight low. This is not looking really good. I want to say we were down. I woke up early this morning. I think we were down 55 points or something like that. And I was like scratching my head, going, well, let's see what happens today. Here's the opening bell, ding, 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 and we start working our way up. And we come up here and we hit the voodoo fire line and fail, and we hit it and fail, and hit it and fail, hit it and fail. We finally go through it, and guess what time this was? It's on military time, but it's at 1 o'clock, and this is when they had the bond auction, which just tanked the market. Very frustrating. Because everything was going, pretty well, and then we had on the 20-year market, 20-year bond auction had very weak demand, so treasury yields going up, prices going down, and check that out. That's 59.50. Now this is ES again, not SPX, but 59.50 to 58.50. That's 100-point, roughly. 100-point drop, and it's pretty much straight down. There were other things going on as well. The market was probably due for a little pullback anyway. We've kind of gotten ahead of ourselves with the, sustained day after day after day moving higher on all of the tariff hopes, the truce with China and all that stuff, right? But now it's, we're focused back on inflation and the debt, what's going to happen. The bond auction results were not very good. Still too early to tell, but let's stick here to the ES, and we'll look at chart and see what the chart is telling us. So if we go back here, that's a 1 day. Let's go back to a 20-day chart, and I'll show you. So we were over here, 5,300, and it's just pretty much, they always say the market takes the stairs up and the elevator down, right? Well, that's pretty much what happened. This line right here, again, this is a voodoo fire line, which is a combination of Elliott wave and Fibonacci numbers. It's kind of a combo that David Starr created for us. But anyway, as you can see, this is the most powerful voodoo line, and it's like a magnet, draws it up to it. Normally when you get on the upper end like this, it acts as support, and when you're coming up from below, it acts as resistance. So, and that's what I was saying earlier, it's kind of like a snake. We're kind of going around and around and around right here, and then we went this way. Now this is a voodoo skyline, that's a voodoo snow line. Is this going to hold? Who knows. But let's back out even further. I like to start granular level and then work our way back out. So this is what we've been up against really all, this year. Here's the start of the year. This is a trailing 1-year chart, but this is January 1st, 2025 right there. And as we know, we chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped. Finally, new all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, new all-time high, and then we rolled over and just puked all the way down to our voodoo snow line, right back up to our skyline, all the way back down. Now see here, it didn't matter. We went right through it, came all the way down there, and this was free falling. This is when it was, throw out the baby with the bathwater stuff. And then, because here, tariffs are going to crash the whole world economy, everybody run to the hills and all that stuff. And then here, tariff resolution, China's agreeing, UK's agreeing, everything's great, everything's great, everything's great. So this is a normal little pullback. This honestly doesn't bother me. Now it may turn into something that bothers me, but right now it doesn't. I've been bullish. I'm taking advantage of that big run all the way up, and it's been great. I think I think most people have actually. I spoke at the Money Show last week, and we had a lot of really good experts there, very knowledgeable people, and they were saying that the retail traders were driving a lot of this, and that's pretty amazing. That the institutional guys had been getting out, here, and we're starting to come back in now, but most of this was retail traders, which again is pretty surprising. But you would expect after, either from here or from here, it's a long move up. You gotta have the market has to have a chance to digest the move, right? So what happens from here, and who knows? I don't know. It's hard to tell. We could still have a meaningful fall, but that would take a lot of unwinding and a couple of bad catalysts, to get us to really fall apart again. Now that being said, we've got some tentative agreements. We've still got tariffs on pause. I've been saying all along, if you listen to any of my videos, I've been saying all along that even back here where we were back here, I'm like, the tariffs are not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is the debt, and that, we could do a whole another segment on that because this is artificial stimulus or stimulation that's been coming into the market. $27 trillion coming into the market over the last 10 years or whatever. That's a whole nother conversation, but the debt is, it's really unsustainable. It can work it out. It can resolve itself fairly easily under the right scenarios with, growing economy. So that at this point is a big concern. That again, we've got to go through all the economic data coming up, PCE and next CPI and next PPI and the next Fed meeting and all that kind of stuff. Another concern over here is the expectation that the Fed is going to delay cutting rates, and again, when I was speaking at the Money Show, was listening to these experts in the bond markets, and they were, some were saying we're going to get more rate cuts, and some were saying we might get rate hikes, and kind of all over the place for various reasons. And again, it's kind of a wild card right now, but I think we probably get rate cuts, and I think we probably start getting a rate cut in September. I was thinking we would get some, before that, but it's not looking like it now, so we shall see. But the thing to do here is not to panic. I think most people probably are fairly long after this. I don't know that everybody's really shorting this thing from a doomsday standpoint, thinking this. It's certainly possible. But at the moment, I'm not going there yet. I don't have anything on, and typically I will have hedging on. Right at the moment, I don't. I did try to pick up some little NASDAQ hedging today, earlier in the day, and we were moving so fast I didn't get filled, and I didn't want to chase it. But we'll have to monitor this thing as we go, and again, we watch the economic data points that come out. So. Not much to do here. We're kind of back to a stock picking market, and we're looking at Netflix. If you haven't seen, there's some good names. Things are still working, right? Look at Netflix here. Netflix up and away. I picked up a little Meta today, thinking that's going to hold, and we go higher. There's still some good names out there. If you look at Bitcoin or IBIT, Bitcoin hit a new high today, 108,000. This is IBIT, the Bitcoin ETF, and it's just, again, up and away. I actually have been waiting on a fair amount of names to pull back so that I can buy them, right? And lastly, TLT is down in the hole down here. Yield's way up. I think the yield on TLT right now is 468, I believe. That's starting to get pretty interesting from a buy TLT and hold it, get the dividend, wait on it to come back at some point. But I haven't done it yet. I've been looking at it. But anyway, there are a lot of interesting names out there. Just be selective, but at this point I am not letting this shake me out yet. We'll see. I may be eating my words tomorrow. If we open up down 200 points, we still have to see what the overnight market's going to think about the bond market reaction today. But we shall see, right? So as always, size appropriately to your account, limit your risk on your trades, tight stops. I've been using on and off hedging along the way, and it's working very well. So the key is sizing your trades, watching them, and managing your risk. So with that, let me wind up. If I can help you, let me know. I am in the bias room at Simpler Trading, and let me know if I can help you. And with that, again, let me wind it up. Thanks for your time, guys. I appreciate it. Take care.
Without Simpler Trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency. It's one of the things that won me